Good afternoon. God is good, and all the time. God is good, and all the time. I was glad when they said unto me. All right. It's been a while, y'all, so I had to make sure. My name is PAgnew. I have the pleasure of serving as the executive director of the Florida-based Dream Defenders. Organization building independent power for our people, all of our people. If you haven't heard of us, you will. If you have heard of us, it may be because we stayed in the Florida Capitol for 31 days and 30 nights. Until we got what we wanted, and we're still working. It's sincere honor to join with you this morning to remember the life of Dr. King. I bring you greetings from the bottom. I bring you greetings from the poor, the shut out, the shut in, the invisible, the forgotten, and the lost. From behind bars, from the corners and the barrios. From graves at land and at sea, and from the lifeless black bodies that strewn the streets of Flint, Michigan. I bring you greetings from the night crew, from the basement and from the kitchen, from the shelter and from the swamp, from the cotton fields of Georgia and from the strawberry fields of California. I call out to you from North Dakota reservations, from the bloody streets of West Inglewood, Chicago, and from the snowy trap of the bluff. I scream to you from the back of that police car. I yell at you from handcuffs in Atlanta streets. I scream out to you from the cold midnight of Arizona deserts. I stand before you covered in the sewage from the gutter. I hope you don't catch my stench. I plead with you from a rainy sidewalk in Sanford, Florida. I call out to you from the gym mats in the musty gymnasium in Valdosta, Georgia. And from the back seat of my best friend's car in Jacksonville, Florida. I cry out to you as shots ring from a doorstep in Detroit, Michigan, while I'm looking for help. I cry out from you from a doorstep in Charlotte, North Carolina after a car accident. I call out to you from the Mexican border, and from East Oakland, and from Cleveland, and from Opa-locka, and from Harlem, and even New Orleans, and from Baltimore. I beg of you from the back of a classroom, and standing before the judge. I'm standing outside of this church, and I'm asking, don't forget about us. Do not allow the elation of this moment of reflection and remembrance to administer that tranquilizing dose of complacency. We still have a lot of work to do. For there's a war going on outside. A war for the very future of our country. A war that words won't win. A war that soliloquies won't win. A war that politics won't win. A war that your degree, your suit, your car won't win. A war that must be won by the people. By an organized resistance, a mass movement of the lesser of these, the least of these, the lost, the forgotten. They say you judge a civilization by how it treats those, the lesser of these, the least of these, the forgotten, the little ones. I was watching a film a few months ago, and they had the Honorable Miss Ruby Dee speaking. And she said something that touched me. She said all of our job, no matter where we're from, is to protect our children from danger. No matter where we hail from, no matter what school we attend, no matter what church we go to, our basic service on earth is to protect our children, and we've let the monsters in. We've let the clutches of the system reach into their bedrooms and left them unprotected. We've let the monsters in. And I'll tell you today, as a young person living in this country, as did Dr. King when he wrote from a Birmingham jail, I got no more weight in me. For as long as As long as Latino families are being separated in this great country of freedom and opportunity, I got no more weight in me. For as long as black boys are being murdered in record numbers, even wartime numbers in the streets of Chicago, Illinois, I got no more weight in me. For as long as my youngest brother, who came out to me when he was 14, has to hide from himself in this world, I got no more weight in me. And yes, sometimes I cry. But I grew up in church. And my father told me that weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And so I've come by this morning to say that for anybody who was wondering where young people were, for anybody that's worried about the future of this country, for anybody that's worried that black and brown and LGBTQ and poor and white folks of the next generation are going to mismanage this country, we're ready. For anybody that fears that the torch may fall from our hands, we're ready. For any young people that are sitting in the audience today waiting for a signal, a sign, you saw it in Sophia, you saw it in Elena, and I'm telling you, we're ready. Congressman Lewis, with the utmost respect, I'm ready for good trouble and necessary trouble. This summer will be the summer of our discontent. This summer we will rise from the cracks, from the crevices, from the sewers of our cities, from the forgotten cells, the detention centers from around this country. We will rise up in a communal gathering and shake up this country. And so I came by today to say, leave out of the waiting room, because we've got work to do. So put on your gloves, take off your jacket, tell your board of directors you'll be back. Because we've got a real work to do. We will pay tribute and homage to Dr. King through our work. We will celebrate the work of Dr. King through our action. We will remember the civil rights movement with a movement of our own that we will celebrate for years to come. And for all those whose cares have been our concern, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die. We rise and we will fall together. For all those that don't believe, just watch.